Legislation.
Second reading for Resolution 28, 2016, a resolution transferring funds within appropriated funds and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Russell.
I would move that council's statutory rules be suspended and this resolution be given its third reading.
Second, Mr. Wobser. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Let's wait till we get to Mr. Hellman.
I'll second it.
Second. All those in favor of suspending the rules of
Never mind.
All those in favor of suspending the rules of council say aye after your name is called. Those opposed, nay.
Ms. Frishy?
Aye.
Mr. Harrington?
Aye.
Mr. Hellman?
Aye.
Mr. Klein?
Aye.
Mr. Monday?
Aye.
Mr. Niemeyer?
Aye.
Mr. Russell?
Aye.
Mr. Schindeldecker?
Aye.
Mr. Watson?
Aye.
Mr. Wobser?
Nay.
The rules of council have been suspended and this ordinance will be given its third reading.
Resolution 28, 2016.
Mr. Wobser.
Andrew, at the meeting we talked.
whoa,
I'm sorry. Questions called for?
We need to have a motion made.
My apologies.
Mr. Mundy.
I move the approval.
Second, Mr. Harrington. Discussion. Mr. Wobser.
Thank you. Andrew, we talked at the meeting about revising the amount that was coming into this. Have we changed this from the original $150,000 that was requested?
We can amend it to $141,500 if you're okay with it. Mayor.
And again, just for clarification, this is the amount that will get us through the end of the year, all things being equal.
I believe
Your
so.
best of your estimate.
That's a fair question, yes.
Any other questions? Ms. Frishy.
I don't feel like we have all of our answers yet. Are we not intending, when we come to budget this fall, are we going to be asking to budget for salary for permanent like you asked for last year?
I think it's premature to answer that right now, to be honest with you.
And you don't see posting for the position and potentially filling it before the end of the year?
I wouldn't make a commitment to that. No, I wouldn't say one way or the other, to be honest with you.
Well, if we move the funds, it won't be there.
Well, when I originally prepared this, there really wasn't going to be an amount where I could not ask for more or not come back and say I need to reverse that. This is the best amount that we can come up with right now, and really don't have anything to add to that.
And then a side note question on this topic. I had sent Dawn an email. Maybe you can answer it for me. Are you bonded through the city?
My position is specifically bonded, yes.
So are you able to bond temporary employees since they're not direct hires under you? If there happened to be an issue in your department, who is covering? It would be my last question with regards to this.
Don and I talked about it a little bit today. I think we was going to try and get some more information, but both the companies that we're using are insured.
But bonded. I mean, if you had an issue in your department, would your bond cover?
Well, my bond is for my position specifically, solely for me.
So you don't cover your employees because you don't have any direct hires? So
No.
none of them are subject?
No, it's my understanding that the city employees are covered on the regular insurance for the city.
So we don't have a liability is what I'm trying to get at, sitting there.
They have blanket bond, and then there's insurance through to.
For non-city employees is what
Because we supervise.
we supervise, so they are covered under that. I just want to be very clear since we did talk about hiring permanent and we're going to move money tonight. It looks like we're going to make an amendment to $141,500, but I would like to know going forward, are we opening, is there a liability there for the city if something were to happen with confidential information or anything else in the department, since we have temporaries and not permanent city employees?
Well, we had that discussion, and it doesn't matter whether they're temporary or permanent. You can have those liabilities.
But they're,
And under the contracts, we supervise. They report to us. We discipline. They would go through our HR, or they'd just be let go.
so if there was findings for recovery in that department because of a temporary employee, we are not subjecting to ourselves the city that would have to pay out any findings because his bond would not cover those employees.
That'd be an issue with the blanket bond that all employees.
So you're saying it's covered, is what, we're 100% good to go.
Yes, and we're indemnified by their insurance.
Okay, that's what I needed.
Mr. Stashak?
Yes, I want to thank this council for recognizing and actually encouraging the Income Tax Board to review this matter as it's supposed to under the ordinance with regard to that it shall review budget matters like this. So the support in moving that back to this committee was very much appreciated, and it does have a duty to look at these types of things. Second thing I would like to share is I've had a number of conversations being fair season with members of the community. Well over 100 individuals I spoke with about this matter. I had only 2 individuals that I spoke with said they'd like more information, but when you discuss the matter of temporary employees seeing our income tax information or working with our income tax department in the capacity that they appear to be working with them, it was overwhelming. 100% of the people I talked to were not in favor of that. So I hope we move towards a permanent employee, full-time employee approach to what we're doing here. But ultimately, I do recognize it's the administration's authority and purvey it and respect that.
Any other comments? Mr. Watson?
Is there a reason that we're having a hard time filling these positions?
I don't, it's a good question. I don't really have an answer for you, to be honest with you. We're in a, quite honestly, we're in a stage of evaluation. This time period when the tax season is over is in some respects a lot less intense. I've explained to the staff members many times it's an office setting, but it's a production environment. And we have to stay on task because it is a revenue producing operation in that regard, and that's not for everybody. So this is the best time to evaluate employees and staff members to see if this is something that's a good fit for them.
I would also just like to add that while it may be easy for some to Monday morning quarterback what's going on in the income tax office, they do have a good working relationship with the team that they have in place. It's a very efficient team. I think Andrew can talk to what they've been able to accomplish this particular tax season, which is over and above what they've been able to do in previous tax seasons. And I would say this, while these individuals may be labeled as temporary employees, they're still human beings that work very hard on behalf of this community. And I have spent a considerable amount of time speaking with those who wish to talk about how they're being portrayed. And I believe that Andrew's doing what he needs to do in his department. We trust our department heads to make decisions, and it would be helpful if we could just dispense with this particular item so that Andrew can get back to doing what he does best, which is operating his department.
Any other comments? Ms. Prishy?
I have one more question with this ordinance. We were taking money from the refund account. I know you can move money within any line item of your department. Refund accounts, I feel like that should stay for refunds only, and since we depleted that by paying temps, do you see this becoming a regular thing that we're going to need to replenish the refund account for tax refunds annually, or what's going on there, or can't you? I guess that's my first question. The refund account, I think, really should be used for refunds only, and right now it is able to be pulled to do whatever it needs to do. If you didn't have that capability to pull from that account, how would that affect your operating without coming to council?
Well, if we weren't able to pull from that, what I would have done is probably budget for salaries and wages and budget in the 4409 account, which would siphon money from other departments. And part of this transfer, 107,000 of this transfer, is to put it right back into the refund account to restore that to its original amount. And I don't intend for it to necessarily be something we do year after year, but this is what I said that I would do during the budget discussions for administrative ease.
You said you would pull money from there even though we budgeted for salary positions.
Yeah, as a long-term temporary solution, knowing that we would get to this point at some point in time, potentially.
And if we as council had a discussion further on the refund account and made it that it could not be an account that could be drawn from without council's knowledge other than for refunds, how would you feel about that? Would that affect your operating day, or would it just be an extra step to add in?
I think he just said he would budget for both refunds and personnel.
Well, then
That's what he would do.
he wouldn't, pulling from the refund account is what this ordinance is about. We're replenishing the refund account.
That's correct, because he pulled it for staffing. And
Correct.
if you're saying that you want to have both contingencies planned for, he would budget amounts in both.
To replenish is what you're saying. You're budgeting to
No,
replenish.
if you're saying he can't do that and you wanted to plan for both scenarios, he would put money in both locations.
But we shouldn't have to
originally.
continue that. Either we're going to hire permanent or we're going to stick with temps. So we should have it in wages, right?
If you hire permanently.
So you would not be uncomfortable having to take the extra step if we had that discussion, if council decided that was something that the refund account should be more tightly separated.
I don't think I would be the one who would be uncomfortable. I think it would be the administration and perhaps the members of council, because as I mentioned, we would be budgeting probably more money than what we need to account for different scenarios. This was to
But all the money in the refund account is for refunds to get paid out at some point, right?
Correct, and we'll be replenishing that with this resolution.
Mr. Wobser.
Andrew, could you tell me that number again?
Yeah, 141,500.
Okay, even?
Correct.
Thank you.
Any other? Mr. Harrington.
Call for the question.
All those in favor of Resolution 28, 2016, say aye after your name is called.
When there's a call for the question, it requires a vote for membership to close the question for releasing all matters.
Okay. No, thank you, Mr. Stashak. All those in favor of calling the question, say aye after your name is called. Those opposed, nay.
Mr. Harrington?
Aye.
Mr. Hellman?
Aye.
Mr. Klein?
Aye.
Mr. Monday?
Aye.
Mr. Niemeyer?
Aye.
Mr. Russell?
Nay.
Mr. Schindeldecker?
Aye.
Mr. Watson?
Nay.
Mr. Wobser?
Nay.
And Ms. Frishy?
Nay.
Does not pass.
There's a,
So we're still under comments?
yes,
I have a comment.
Okay.
I just asked the rest of my fellow councilmen if they have additional comments to make them, and then we'll vote on the,
So,
so I don't understand why they would not move on to vote on this. Because I've called for the question, all it does is
just a minute.
it limits the comments to what has already been discussed.
Mr. Russell.
there's two numbers being floated around, 141,500 and the 150,000 that's currently in there. When you call the question, the motion has to be voted on as given, and it didn't give Councilman Monday a chance to amend his approval motion if desired to change the amount. That's why I voted nay.
Mr.
Please explain that to me again.
You made the motion to, I believe you made the motion to pass this on its third reading, and then.
I made no motion.
Who made the motion to?
I certainly didn't.
Who made the motion to pass this?
To suspend the rules.
That was Russell, but Monday.
So we haven't had a motion to approve yet?
Yeah. Monday did it, Harrington second.
Then we had discussion. So Ron, you made a motion to approve.
I made no motion. Ask the clerk, did I?
I have down Mr. Monday made the motion to adopt Harrington second, and then we went into discussion.
I don't think I did, but maybe I did.
Then you
I
had
stand
discussion.
corrected. I would not.
And then
I would not oppose what our esteemed clerk would say. So, okay,
Ron, and if that's the case,
if in fact I made the motion, I don't know.
you are the only, then it would be up to you to amend if we wanted to change the amount to 141,500. And that's what I wanted to give a chance for that possibility to happen.
I make that amendment. I move that amendment.
So all those in favor of amending this,
You need a second.
second, Mr. Russell, second. That's okay.
Want clarification from the attorney to make sure that we're doing this the proper way.
We had a motion to adopt, you had a second, then you had discussion, and then you called the question, and they said they had to have a vote on the question, and that was a 6-4 vote on the question. So now it's for the passage. You moved to call the question. It was supported 6-4. So
Can you reread what motion's on the floor? Is it 140.15 or 150?
it's 150 or 155, the original number. That's what the question was called on, and you voted in favor, 6-4. So now you have a vote on that, or somebody moves to amend.
I'll move to amend.
Ms. Frishy?
I would like to move to amend ordinance,
And Ron have to do that?
resolution 28, 2016 from 150,000 to 141,500.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Harrington?
I'll second.
All those in favor of amending this resolution say aye after your name is called. Those opposed, nay.
Mr. Holman?
Aye.
Mr. Klein?
Aye.
Mr. Monday?
Aye.
Mr. Niemeyer?
Aye.
Mr. Russell?
Aye.
Mr. Schindeldecker?
Aye.
Mr. Watson?
Aye.
Mr. Wobser?
Aye.
Ms. Frishy?
Aye.
And Mr. Harrington?
Aye.
The resolution has been amended.
Adopt as amended.
Mr. Harrington?
I make a motion to pass the resolution as amended.
Second. Second, Mr. Klein. Discussion. All those in favor of the amended resolution say aye after your name is called. Those opposed, nay.
Mr. Klein?
Aye.
Mr. Monday?
Aye.
Mr. Niemeyer?
Aye.
Mr. Russell?
Aye.
Mr. Schindeldecker?
Aye.
Mr. Watson?
Aye.
Mr. Wobser?
Aye.
Ms. Frishy?
Aye.
Mr. Harrington? And Mr. Holman?
Aye.
The resolution is adopted.
We take a short break.